Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best for 2024. Welcome to our 144th episode. It's always such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly makes it all worthwhile. I'd love for you to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And also remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and all episodes of A Moment of Zen are streaming 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV. That's free programming to you. And of course, you can also find us on our YouTube channel at Zen Sams. We have an incredible show lined up for you today. In America's Favorite Pharmacist segment, brought to you by Triquetra Health, we're chatting with my amazing co-host, pharmaceutical expert Phil Cowley. He's joined by my dear friend, actress McKenzie Westmore. She's also the founder of Westmore Beauty. Today, we're chatting about the increased use of semaglutide. Is it safe for our children? And the side effects you must be aware of. Particularly, we're going to be addressing the rising concern of this medication's use among non-diabetic teenagers. In our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Dr. Michael Somenek, a facial plastic surgeon focusing on rhinoplasty, and Dr. Troy Pittman. He's an aesthetic breast expert and reconstructive plastic surgeon. They are a duo team. They join me today to chat why and how New York City has become the plastic surgery hub, what carbon dioxide therapy means for your skin, and top trending surgical and non-surgical procedures for 2024. In our Music Madness segment, brought to you by Imaginative Media, live in studio right here at headquarters, Midtown Manhattan at WOR, we're featuring AnaMaria Ferentz, a Romanian singer-songwriter who recently dropped her new single, Christmas is Near, this past December. Today, she's here to chat New Year's resolutions, music, and plans for 2024, and what it's like making it as a Romanian singer-songwriter right here in the United States. In our Hydration with Heart segment, we're featuring pro wrestler Mojo Rawley, life coach and creator of the Butterfly Effect, Emily Hayden, and Down syndrome advocate Abigail the Advocate, along with Harley Cameron, AEW pro wrestler. We're chatting the benefits of coconut water, why Once Upon a Coconut brand has taken off as fast and successfully as they have, and why celebrities and VIPs are major endorsers. In our Discover Your Potential segment, host Anna DeVere breaks down how to be a game changer at any age by tuning into your heart's desire for a new year and a new you. Stay tuned for America's Favorite Pharmacist with Phil Cowley and McKenzie Westmore, chatting semaglutide, weight loss, addiction, and why this medication is taking Hollywood and America by storm. And is it really safe? You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Happy 2024 and welcome to a grand new year. This is the first Saturday to kick off an incredible 12 months. Welcome to America's Favorite Pharmacist, brought to you by Triquetra Health. We're chatting with my amazing co-host, pharmaceutical expert and contributor, Phil Cowley, joined by my dear friend, actress McKenzie Westmore, and founder of Westmore Beauty. Today, we're chatting about the increased use of semaglutide, and is it safe for children, the side effects you must be aware of, and the risks you may not know about. Semaglutide is a medication that has taken the world by storm with its remarkable close to 20% weight loss in just 6 months. It belongs to a class of medications known as glucagon-like peptide 1, what they call GLP-1 receptor agonists. It mimics the GLP-1 hormone that is released in the gastrointestinal tract in response to eating. One role of GLP-1 is to prompt the body to produce more insulin, which reduces blood glucose, what we call sugar. Now, Phil and I are going to highlight its diverse applications, from reducing cardiovascular risk to aiding in weight loss and controlling glucose levels. The conversation will then shift to McKenzie, a veteran in the beauty industry, and her perspective on the widespread use of semaglutide in Hollywood among non-diabetic patients. And finally, I'm going to provide insights into the challenges and risks, potential pitfalls, particularly addressing the concerning rise of semaglutide use among non-diabetic teenagers. Welcoming now to the show are my experts at hand, Phil Cowley and McKenzie Westmore. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Phil, take it away, my darling.
So nobody's going to argue that the world has changed because of Ozempic and terpazotide. I mean, you're seeing people drop weight left and right. We're seeing all sorts of celebrities going on it, and they're being very open. And this has been fantastic for all of us. But now I'm new to the game, but the two of you have been in the beauty industry forever. I mean, you're both gorgeous people who've worked really hard at it for years and years. But I see these GLP-1 medications and I start to wonder, what are the long-term effects? I mean, if you start looking back in history, we used things like Adderall for weight loss. Fen was a colossal bust after everybody started having heart attacks. So here we are, 17% weight loss, 6 months, you're seeing 12% reduction of your cardiovascular risk. You're even seeing planes buying less jet fuel because of this. But McKenzie, you've gone through this beauty industry for so long. I'm kind of curious what your gut feeling is. Where does this end up and how does this fit in?
First of all, it's so great to be here. Yeah, as I said earlier, huge fan, Phil. Then I love you to death. When it first hit the scene, I was very angry because I was seeing it as simply the brand medication coming from a pharmacy, people paying $1,000 a month. And next thing I know, my mom can't get her diabetes medication. So that's where the anger first started for me. Now, as we've progressed into the world of semaglutide, I'm seeing these compounds come out that are not coming from a pharmacy and they're not what would be given to a diabetic. And that's where I'm like, well, if somebody wants to pay the money and they want to lose weight and they're doing other things to go along with it, and changing lifestyles and not just having a one and done shot, maybe, I don't know, but I'm curious to see where this will end up, where this will go. I have seen it be very successful for some people, not for others. But like you said, are we dealing with another fen? I know personally, back when I was in my 20s and I was battling anorexia, I went through a problem with ripped fuel. I was taking about 8 ripped fuel a day. And I actually ended up in the emergency room, to the point where my doctor, my personal MD, said he was going to sign me off as a patient because he was not going to sign my death certificate if I didn't change my habits. I don't know. I'm really curious to see where this is going to go as this unfolds.
So I love the fact that you brought up anorexia, because if you look at anorexia and bulimia, they have these dysregulations of the way that we get our dopamine, our serotonin, our satiety from food.
Yep.
And it really messes up. People don't understand that when you're anorexic, you actually change everything around and you actually feel better because you're not eating. Like, it makes a mess of the neurochemistry. And so last couple of weeks, it's really started pushing that they're using semaglutide, they're using terpazotide now to help with addictions. And alarms went off in my head, like went off immediately, because anytime you're messing with a bunch of cells in your head that, by the way, they just discovered which cells they were in November. So this isn't like we really know this stuff. It creates this artificial potential for creating anxiety and dopamine pathways, which to me are very concerning. And so the only reason why I'm concerned is not because I think that there's a problem with using it. It's more of what we don't know than what we do know, because it's been around for 20 years, but it's only been to the market now for 3 years. And so for me, that like throws up huge red flags when we know we're messing with neurochemistry, but we didn't even know what we were doing. So Zen, I was going to always ask you, you've been in this industry forever too, and eating and models have always had somewhat of a tie to having issues together. When you see this kind of medication being used in teenagers, which as many times it's being used good, there's going to be somebody out there who thinks that they just need to get down for a dress size or to go to a dance. What do you think, as a mother, as a model, as being in this forever, what do you think is going to happen to these kids if this becomes a pattern?
This is very frightening because motherhood, number one, is by far the hardest job in the world. And watching addiction potentially unfold right before my eyes is very scary. And if prescribed appropriately, sure, could have a positive effect on metabolic health and weight management in certain individuals. And we're talking about maybe, over 18 at this point, right? But semaglutide, back to your conversation with McKenzie, is used for the treatment of type 2 diabetes in adults, right? But the long-term safety of using medications like semaglutide in non-diabetic teenagers is just not well established. And I feel very defensive as a mom because it feels very counterintuitive. And relying on medications without addressing underlying lifestyle factors doesn't necessarily lead to sustainable health improvements. In fact, we know it doesn't. And lifestyle modifications from a mom's perspective, like a healthy diet and regular exercise, are so crucial. And the use of medication in non-diabetic individuals, especially young individuals, children, that their bodies are still developing, without a doubt, that's going to influence their perception of health and well-being, right? So we're going to lead them back into addiction, and it could potentially contribute, without a doubt. Here we're going to go back to a culture of relying on pharmaceuticals like we did back in the 80s and 90s when we had the opioid crisis for weight management this time, rather than mental health, versus adopting healthy lifestyle choices. So I am not on board with this. I don't think that this is a Kickstarter to anything other than the deep, dark rabbit hole of addiction and big pharma cashing in. So I'm not for this.
Addiction's the thing that always comes. So when I was like 8 or 9, my mom told me I had really high hips. And I'm not kidding. From that day, I've always had this problem with my hips. I hate looking at my hips. It's funny how fast the negative reinforcement of body image comes around. So I'm hearing it being used for kids. And McKenzie, you're a huge advocate of loving yourself, making sure that you take care of yourself, looking in the mirror and liking what you like, because you've been down the road of this is completely safe. And then later on, it wasn't safe at all. When we look at completely safe, and you see that being completely safe, do you think that we're creating maybe a new type of body dysmorphia from all of this for these kids?
Yeah, I definitely do. And I think, the people that are not saying anything about this, and they're on social media, 'cause I see my son, he's constantly on his phone and constantly with Instagram. And, I know most teens usually are. So when you have people that are on social media and they're looking amazing and they're not being vocal about it, that's one issue. And then, but then when you have the other ones that they are honest about it, but they've made lifestyle changes of, weight training and dietary changes. I mean, I think maybe that's a different conversation. But when it comes to this whole concept of teenagers taking this, that's disgusting to me. That's beyond disturbing. Between that and, the whole, like we talked about with Adderall, and it's very scary how this could potentially, I feel there's maybe a tiny bit less chance of this because you got to shoot yourself with this. A lot of people don't like needles. So I think it's definitely not as easy as popping a pill.
They're actually releasing 2 pill forms.
That's right. Yes, you're right. I did read that.
Then we all know that there's danger in dopamine. Like, we know that things that are dopamine chasing, people that drink heavily, we create these pathways in our brain. It doesn't matter what you do. When you think about the dopamine chasing component of weight loss and what it does to people, what is your first thought process of what's going to happen for individuals who don't make lifestyle changes? And what lifestyle changes would you recommend? I mean, you've been in this business forever. So,
well, let's address the fact that without a doubt, it becomes evident that semaglutide is a double-edged sword. So we know this, right? So right. offering remarkable, what I call remarkable short-term benefits, but potentially carrying long-term risks. That's what we're talking about, right? That's the conversation. So the discussions are around rebound effects, in my opinion, and artificial substances altering brain functions and the ethical concerns of its increasing use in non-diabetic. I keep saying that non-diabetic teenagers raises important questions about the trade-offs between immediate results and what I always advocate for, which is sustainable health. And I can't emphasize enough the need for a holistic approach to health, considering not only the physical outcomes, but also the psychological and long-term consequences of these medications. I'm certainly left with a very nuanced perspective after hearing both sides. And I would encourage every mother, every father, even teenagers out there considering this to really weigh the positives and the negatives before resorting to such disruptive. It's a disruptive pharmaceutical intervention because it's not made for the masses, and it's being taken as if it is. And that's where I feel, that if you're going to use this, you're going to have to come up with a really, really strong schedule of not just your eating habits, but to maintain your exercise, and a regimen that you're going to be able to adhere to for the rest of your life. Because although they're going to call this the magic pill, this is also, you just sold yourself to the devil. And when you sell your soul to the devil, you got to keep making the devil happy. And that's how I consider these pills. Now, if you need the pill and it's of medical necessity, that's an entirely different conversation. But that's not why kids are taking it.
So part of the reason why I always push with people, whether you're taking semaglutide or not, you want to make sure to look at what's causing the issue underlying. So Triquetra Health and I worked together on a product called GLP Activate. And the reason why we did that is because you need capsaicin to help reduce the amount of inflammation that you have in the stomach. The L cells produce this chemical, and they're only found in the intestine. So if you have inflammation there, you're never going to get away from this stuff. And then if you add berberine as well as ECGC, which I can say if I say it quick, epigallocatechan, I can't say it slow. Those things help feed the microbe that then feed the gut lining. And so we get most of our energy from the gut lining. So for people who are considering it, or you're even on it, you do need to take care of everything naturally along with it. Even if you're taking it, if you're not taking care of the microbe with berberine and ECGC, or if you're not taking care of the chronic inflammation with things like aloe vera and your epigallocatechan, you're never going to be able to get away from this stuff at all. So you want to make sure you're taking care of all of it together. And that's the reason why you work with good companies like Triquetra that you can count on.
And to your point, Phil, obviously diabetes is a different story, right? Because there's a genetic disposition to have reduced GLP. And considering the source of all active GLP, like you so eloquently put, is from the gastrointestinal system, the supplements that support natural production, like the one that Triquetra has, it's a GLP Activate product. It combines the ECGC, capsaicin, berberine, Aquinas cinnamon, and it fixes the problem. So I'm totally going to run out and get that for my husband because he is currently on Mounjaro. And I think that this particular product could definitely supplement his overall health.
Now, McKenzie, you're gorgeous. You've done this for years. When you talk to somebody about how you stay the way you want to look, you're positive, what is the first thing you tell people you need to work on before anything else?
Your diet. And I don't even like to say the word diet. I never, because I always say it's die with a T. So I don't like to use the word diet. It's healthy eating habits. I've been a certified trainer for 20 years, and this has always been the number one thing. It's 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. And that's the biggest thing, is making sure, and I'm even dealing with this right now with my son, where as a teenager, as a 17-year-old boy, talking to him about eating healthy foods all throughout the day, not just one meal here, one meal there, because that's just going to slow the metabolism down anyhow. So it's really, to me, about eating and making healthy choices and having that every 3 hours if you can, even if it's just a little snack, grab some almonds, whatever you can. Between that and then, yes, exercise. To me, it's always, once you get to a certain point that you do your cardio and your weight training, but when you get to a certain age, too much cardio becomes counterproductive. And this is why we see we see obese people in the gym on the treadmill for hours. So why is that? It's way too much cardio for the body. So there's that fine balance of exercising, moving. I'm more of a big advocate on having a Fitbit and getting my 10,000 steps in. Not necessarily going for a run, but getting to over 10,000 if I can, just to keep the body moving. And from there, it's just, continuing through your life, making those healthy choices, getting good fiber. This is another thing I've been talking more about. To your point, Phil, the gut, fiber is a big one. So making sure that you're getting low glycemic vegetables, low glycemic fruits, the things that will not spike the blood sugar and will just keep the body revving and going. Because I see the body like a car. You want to keep everything, functioning properly throughout your entire day. And then water. For me personally, I drink a gallon of water a day. And I make sure that I get at least 8 hours of sleep. That's my phone will be shut off by 9:30 because everybody knows that if I'm woken up, I am not a happy camper. So sleep is a big one.
See, I love it. I love the fact that you're always talking about your kids. I know that that's what we all think of, and I think we give better advice to our kids than we give for
we do
ourselves. Yeah, and so Zen, when it comes around to all of this stuff, if you were going to give your kids just a piece of advice on looking beautiful, staying beautiful, and loving yourself, what would you say?
Well, I always tell my daughter, don't try to change who you are. Just love yourself. You are perfect the way you are, and I don't allow her to compare herself to anybody or anything. I tell her she is her own unique footprint in this world, and there's not a single living soul that can ever replicate her. And she needs to just be proud of the vessel that she was given. Now, when it comes to advice for my older daughter, I always advocate for non-invasive procedures because we definitely don't want to start using fillers and Botox in our 20s. So carboxytherapy is often referred to as CO2 lift, and it's carboxytherapy for the skin. It's a cosmetic procedure that involves the application of carbon dioxide gas via a gel-like mask application over 45 minutes. And it improves the skin's elasticity. It promotes collagen production and addresses a lot of skin concerns, from acne to puffiness to discoloration and even hyperpigmentation. So I always will tell my stepdaughter Carly to opt for non-invasive treatments and start to prep her skin even in her early 20s to avoid having to do invasive procedures later on.
See, I love all of this because I'm concerned with the 66% rebound on every person. That's not 66% of the people. Everybody gains at least 66%, and they're thinking it'll be higher with these medications. And I think that I like people, and the last thing I want to see is them hurting themselves by dropping all this weight and thinking that's who we liked, because I've never met somebody and thought, well, I'd sure like you better if you lost some weight. I've never thought that. And I don't think any of the rest of us do. Thank you so much for this. This was fantastic. This is a conversation I want to have so people will talk amongst each other.
Thank you so much for joining me, Phil. You are amazing as an incredible co-host and regular contributor. McKenzie, thank you so much for your expertise.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is definitely a hot topic that you're right, Phil. More people need to speak about it.
That was America's Favorite Pharmacist segment, brought to you by Triquetra Health. That was the awesome pharmaceutical expert, Phil Cowley. You can check him out on the gram at Phil's My Pharmacist. And that was the beautiful and incredible McKenzie Westmore. You can head directly to their website at westmorebeauty.com. Welcome to 2024, my dear friends. We'll see you next week. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Join Jimmy Jimbo Temple on Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches and get ready for a crazy ride. From up-and-coming country western performers to ranchers with purpose, Jimmy takes you behind the scenes with a front row seat to all of the action. Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches is dedicated to celebrating and preserving all things Western. Do check them out on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase in luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Dr. Michael Somenek. He's a facial plastic surgeon focusing on rhinoplasty, and Dr. Troy Pittman. He's an aesthetic breast expert and reconstructive plastic surgeon. Dr. Somenek is double board certified, specializing in revision rhinoplasty surgery, and is one of the nation's top experts in deep plane facelifts. Dr. Troy Pittman is board certified by the American Board of Plastic Surgery, and he's an award-winning surgeon, internationally recognized. He has specialized training and expertise in aesthetic surgery of the breast, including complex revision breast surgeries. They have practices both in Washington, D.C. and New York City. They joined me today to chat why New York City has become the plastic surgery hub, what carboxytherapy means for your skin, and top trending surgical and non-surgical procedures for 2024. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Hi there.
Thank you for having us, Zen.
So excited to chat with you. Okay, so let's dive right in. Recent advancements in deep plane facelifts include focusing on deeper tissue layers for more natural, youthful repositioning and longevity. Now, this technique minimizes visible scarring and reduces risks like nerve damage. Dr. Somenek, as an expert in deep plane facelifts and revision rhinoplasty, what are the key advancements in these procedures that have emerged recently?
Well, I think over the past 5 to 10 years, specifically with deep plane facelifts, we've really gained a more extensive understanding of what it means and the kind of results that we can get with it. And what we've seen over time is that it really increases not only the longevity, but the naturalness of the lift. Because what you're doing is you're essentially releasing a lot of those tissues that have fallen as a result of gravity. And as you release those tissues and you resuspend them back up in a more neutral position, it recreates that natural volume that we all had with youth. And so what we're seeing is not only the more natural looking scars and incisions that we have with this, but a much longer lasting result that's just very natural and refreshed looking.
I couldn't agree more. And you know, without a doubt, New York City is becoming a hub for plastic surgery once again. Everyone is flocking back here to find experts like yourselves. What unique factors about New York City contribute to this trend, and why have you decided to focus your practice on New York City for 2024?
Well, you know, we have a lot of patients that have been coming to DC for years from New York City and have colleagues in New York that we work with. And we're sending patients to DC. And as we grew a New York patient population and they wanted to refer friends, there was kind of this roadblock because not everyone wants to get on the train or get in a car and come down to DC for surgery. And so we had all of these patients that were seeking our services that really were in New York and didn't want to come to DC. So we thought, what better way than to bring the practice and the brand to New York to be able to serve those patients?
Without a doubt. I mean, the city's status as a center of American culture and technology and innovation extends to the plastic surgery field, without a doubt, where patients have access to a wide range of specialized procedures and specialists like yourself. And additionally, many practices in New York City, they cater to out-of-town patients, offering services that help with travel and accommodations and post-operative care, making it a very convenient choice for those seeking high-quality cosmetic surgery. So definitely New York City, bring it back to basics. Now, Dr. Pittman, with your specialization in aesthetic surgery of the breast and the body, what are the most significant changes you've seen in patient preferences and techniques over the past few years?
Well, you know, it's such an interesting question because I always say that plastic surgery trends really follow fashion trends. And so when you think of the dynasty look of the 80s, big shoulder pads, big hair, people wanted to really look enhanced. There were the little sloped rhinoplasties, the very thin noses with the ski slopes. And that was really the look that followed the fashion trends. We went through the early 2000s where the fitted, tight clothing was in. And so Brazilian butt lifts, the big butts, the very tiny waist, that was really a trend. As we're getting into this new decade, certainly post-COVID, there's much more of a holistic or a natural desire of patients. Fashion is a little bit more understated. We're getting back into kind of flowy, baggy clothing. And so for body, patients are wanting to be contoured, but they want to be more slim looking. They want smaller breast implants. They want more natural facial work. And so that's really following these cultural trends.
You're so right. And when you look at overall, I think women in general, they're always going to look at, incision location. That's trending well. Implant placement right now, there's a big trend on, going back to the basics, whether it's submuscular or subglandular. And a lot of the Google searches are the type of implants, because now we've seen a huge rise in BII, breast implant illness. And a lot of women are saying, I just want to be all natural. I just don't want anything in, while others are opting for something that's safer. So we've seen a lot of these trends over and over again. Bringing me to my next question, something non-invasive, something that we can all agree on. Interestingly enough, the number one skincare trend in Google search 2023 for Q3 was carboxytherapy. So people are Googling, like, what is that? So carboxytherapy, it's a treatment that's been around since 1930, though the method, of course, of delivery has improved since then with this new gel delivery system called CO2 lift. But carboxytherapy is gaining popularity as a skin treatment. Can you explain what it really is and how it benefits the skin?
CO2 lift is so revolutionary because when we looked at carboxytherapy, even 5 years ago, we needed to use a needle to inject carbon dioxide into the skin. Being able to topically treat the skin is wonderful. So the way that carboxytherapy works is when the skin sees carbon dioxide, our body sees carbon dioxide as almost an oxygen starvation chemical. And so the natural body's reaction is to cause dilation of blood vessels, to increase blood flow and increase oxygenation to the skin. And so what we need to heal when we're talking about facial contour, facial healing, is oxygen. And so using the carboxytherapy to bring oxygen into the facial skin is really the key to healing and hydration of the skin.
And there's a really strong anti-inflammatory component to it as well. I use it for all my facelift patients, and everyone that I do laser resurfacing on, they get a CO2 lift on their skin immediately after. Because what that's doing is it's driving the oxygenation, it's driving the growth factors and the anti-inflammatory components into the skin to really expedite recovery. And that's what we're looking to do with all the treatments that we're looking to incorporate in our patients.
Without a doubt, there's a science there. I mean, the CO2 Lift Pro,
Sure.
I tried it, and in particular, CO2 Lift Pro, that's the strongest version of carboxy gel. And it's really simple. If those listening out there are trying to understand what we're talking about here, conceptually visualize, it's an in-office or an at-home treatment that delivers CO2 cutaneously over 35 minutes to an hour. And it's transdermal, it's non-invasive, it's a facial mask, and it's recommended for post-procedure care after invasive procedures, such as needling, laser. Now we're even talking about medical, surgery. So yeah, definite fan of it. Now let's segue into looking at this current year, 2024. All right. So what are the top, and you could take a shot at this one, top trending surgical and non-surgical procedures, and what makes them stand out?
I think this year has been particularly popular in terms of the non-surgical market, with collagen stimulation. We're seeing all different types of collagen stimulators out there. We have Sculptra, we have hyperdilute radiesse that we're injecting within the skin, because what we're doing is we're looking to really thicken that dermis. We're looking to tell the skin, hey, you need to stimulate collagen. And that truly is the anti-aging component that we're looking to restore. And so, we're kind of shifting gears a little from the hyaluronic fillers. they're always going to have a place in the market, but we're looking to complement them, if not replace a little bit of them with collagen stimulation. So I definitely see that as a really trending thing going into 2024.
Yeah, and I think for the body, you know, we look at 2022, 2023, the #1 surgical procedure has been liposuction. Everybody got chubby during COVID. And so we're doing more liposuction than ever. I think it still remains the #1 treatment. For me, it's one of the #1 things that patients are coming in asking for. But beyond surgical liposuction, we have real advances in non-invasive body contouring. So we have devices that can actually, in a minimally invasive way in the office with no downtime, help melt fat, help build muscle. And I think that those trends are going to continue through the whole year in 2024.
I couldn't agree more. So, Dr. Somenek, in the context of complex revision surgeries, how do you approach cases that have had less than desirable outcomes from previous surgeries, if you will?
Yeah.
Not so much botched, but
No, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's a very popular thing that I see in the office. It's frequent. And I think there's two components here. One is with revision surgery, you have to remember that this person may be on their second, third, sometimes fourth or fifth surgery on a given body part. And with that in mind, there's been maybe 2, 3, or 4 surgeons that have operated on that given body part. That adds an element of complexity because the anatomy may be altered. There may be extensive scarring. There's many other factors that you have to put in perspective. And I think the other component is the emotional component. These patients that are getting revision surgery tend to be very emotional about it, understandably so, because they've been through several procedures, many of them, hoping to get the result that they want and have only gotten suboptimal outcomes. And so I spend a lot of time with them, really trying to explore their motivations and trying to get them a reasonable result or expectation for their results.
so now you're a psychologist as well, because you must
Yes,
take on the weight of the world when they're in your office going, I don't like the way I look.
totally.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. It's a lot of pressure. Dr. Pittman, could you discuss the latest techniques in breast surgery, especially in revision breast surgery, since we're talking about revision surgeries here, that are setting new standards in the field?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we are seeing as really a revolution is a surgical mesh that is used now. We were using meshes in the past, but those ended up being permanent meshes and they had problems. Now we have resorbable meshes that we use as soft tissue scaffolding. So in revision surgery, whether it's to support an implant, whether it's to support breast tissue, we're using these synthetic meshes that really act as a scaffold. So just like a scaffolding supports a building, when the building is complete and the concrete is dried, the scaffolding comes down. And so with these surgical scaffolds, our body resorbs that or melts that scaffolding so it's not around all the time. The other thing that we're really seeing is an improvement in implant technology. We've moved on to the 5th generation silicone implant. Those implants are like a gummy bear. So if you cut that implant in half, it's like you bit a gummy bear in half and turned it on its side. That results in lower rupture rates. It results in lower rates of capsular contracture or scar tissue that forms around the implant. And the other thing we're seeing with this new implant technology is we're able to use a smaller implant to give the same amount of fullness and roundness to the breast. We used to be using these large implants to do that, and large implants sometimes just don't hold up over time. So a smaller implant, supporting that implant with the synthetic soft tissue scaffold, that's going to really give us longevity with our revisions and our reconstructions.
That's great. For a part of me thought you were going to say fat grafting, because that's also, very popular and trending now. Women are looking at that. But what if you don't have any fat to give, or
Which
you
is
don't have it
oftentimes
in?
a problem.
Yeah, because most women that are coming in to do reconstructive surgery are very, very conscious of their body, and so probably their BMI index is pretty low for you to go in and
Mhm.
extract that much fat to reconstruct the breast. Now, what are the most common misconceptions about facial and body plastic surgery? So we're talking about misconceptions that you both encounter, and how do you address them?
I think the #1 for me, as someone who only works on the face, almost universally, the patient will say, I just want to look like myself, because they've either seen celebrities or friends in their social circles that for better or worse, have gotten a little bit of a distorted look, whether it's non-surgical, surgical, and they have a real high concern. And I do think it's reasonably or rightfully so, because they have seen people like that. So I try and spend a lot of time explaining, as long as you go to a facial plastic surgeon that really respects proportions, respects your anatomy, and understands your motivations, you should really come out of whatever procedure you're going into looking refreshed, like you took a week-long vacation and you look fabulous. And that really is the goal of what we're trying to achieve here.
Love it. Well, we are officially out of time. Didn't know if you wanted to add anything else or take away, but if you have some closing thoughts, I would love to hear them.
Do you have anything to add?
Well, I mean, I think that plastic surgery is not going anywhere. We're seeing kind of a revolution in younger patients getting injectables, patients coming in asking for more subtle changes. And it's just, it's a really exciting time to do what we do.
Well, you guys do what you do incredibly well, and you do it together, and that's what I love about you. You are a dynamic duo without a doubt, and I love that popular moniker there. It's a great DC dynamic duo. I love that you got. I guess that there's a .com out there waiting to be bought.
Right.
But thank you so much for your time. You guys were incredible, so much fun, full of knowledge, and just a pleasure to chat with.
Thank you, Zen.
Thanks, Zen.
That was our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift. That was the awesome Dr. Michael Somenek, and that was the incredible Dr. Troy Pittman. They're practicing in Washington, D.C. and both New York City. You could head directly to their website at SomenekPittmanMD.com or check them out on social, on the gram, at SomenekMD and at Dr. Troy Pittman. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Head to CO2Lift.com for all your skin rejuvenation needs. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase in luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Do you have the dream of starting and owning your own business? Or know of someone who does? If so, check out Your Home Business program, where they inspire, equip, and encourage those who dream of owning and operating their own business. Definitely check them out on yourhometv.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our Music Madness segment, brought to you by Imaginative Media, live in studio right here at WOR in Midtown Manhattan at iHeart headquarters. We're featuring the awesome AnaMaria Ferentz. She's a Romanian singer-songwriter who recently dropped her new single, Christmas is Near. Now, she was born in the height of the Christmas season in Bacău, Romania, and as a solo artist, AnaMaria has been honored with various music awards, acknowledging her popularity and excellence in the Romanian music scene. She's also appeared on popular TV shows, including one of the original Dancing with the Stars back in 2010, Romania. Today, she's here to chat New Year's resolutions, music, and plans for 2024. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. You are wonderful.
Oh, you are amazing. Thank you, and happy holidays. Welcome to New York City.
Happy holidays. Oh, I love this time of the year, especially in New York City. It's my favorite city of all. I moved here first time in 2010 when I left Romania. And ever since, it was like my home. Even if I don't live here anymore, I always come with so much pleasure.
You feel a connection, yes. So let's chat early influences and musical journey. So growing up in Bacău, Romania, how did your hometown influence your musical style, and what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
What is very interesting is my mother says that I've loved music even when since I was born, because as a baby in my crib, each time I heard music, I was moving. So I'm moving my body. So she knew that I love music very much. And then I didn't speak, but I sang. I hum and I remember that everybody called me Katrina because it was a song in Romanian, like a folklore from traditional music. And I was singing that all day long. Hai Katrina din arată mai. This is like a traditional song. And everybody called me Katrina because of that. So my first influences, they were Romanian traditional music. But then I evolved into pop. Then I sang opera. 2 years I was at opera in Constanța. It's a place at the seaside in Romania. And it was amazing. I was performing in Carmen,
and now you've come full circle.
Yes.
So you're back in America. Now, it's important to note that in 2001, you joined forces with two talented musicians, George Callan and Silviu Duduta, forming the dance group Demo. And together, to my understanding, you released 4 albums, which achieved a lot of renowned success and popularity internationally. Coming full circle to your recent work, for Christmas is Near. So your new single, Christmas is Near, has just been released. And happy 2024 for those of you listening. You could definitely ring in the new year rehearing this incredible song. I spent all of Christmas time playing it for my family and friends, and they loved it. Now, can you tell us about the creative process behind this song, and how did Christmas is Near reflect your artistic evolution?
Yes, to say a little bit few words about my first accomplishments as a musician with the band Demo, with the 2 bandmates that I had, the best time of my life. We had great success, and we are still friends. And they always pushing me like, you write so good, you have to write music constantly. Please don't stop. And like that, I was always thinking that I want to make a Christmas album. And every year I'll do it next year. And this year I was starting to write for Christmas. And my first feeling was for the people that they are alone. Because many years for Christmas, I was alone. And many years I thought that before December, maybe I'll meet somebody and I'll spend Christmas with somebody, not alone again. Of course, I wasn't alone. I had family. I had, my pet, my dog, Supai. I had lots of friends, but I hoped for a love, like a true love to have, to hug on Christmas. And that's why I wrote this song, Christmas is Near, which says that I hope, by December, Santa will bring me you, So all we want at the end of the day, it's love and to have someone to care for us and be there for us.
Oh, you are so inspirational. Thank you for writing that and sharing your music with the world. Now, can you share a memorable experience from your time on Dancing with the Stars?
Oh boy, it was so challenging. You think that you can dance, right? I'm a singer, so I dance on stage. I was thinking that I'm such a good dancer, and when I went to start rehearsing for Dancing with the Stars, I realized that I'm no dancer at all. It was super hard. I had to learn a lot of classical styles of dance, like waltz, which looks simple but it's not, and foxtrot, and all those type of dancing. And I remember rehearsing from morning to night, that when I had to go home, I barely could walk.
Oh boy.
But it was one of the best times, amazing experience. And plus the people that I worked with and that we helped, because we had some like social cases that we fought for, and we love to help. And those they warm my heart, and I'll always remember it with pleasure.
Yes, social activism is extremely important, and I'm pretty sure being on Dancing with the Stars Romania in 2010 opened up many doors for you, which brings me to, let's talk about your education. So with a bachelor's degree in music pedagogy, how do you integrate educational principles into your music?
First, it's very important to take care of your voice, right? So we always say as teachers that warm up your voice before you sing. Like any athlete out there, you have to warm up your muscles. Same with the vocal cords are some muscles. and you need to warm up and listen music as much as you can, and just listen instruments, listen all type of songs and music, and try to learn everything, even if in especially many other languages. For example, I sing even if I don't speak. I sing in Greek, Arabic, Italian, French, Spanish.
By the end, maybe you'll maybe you'll bust out in a Greek solo.
Yes.
Now let's chat your literary pursuits and Oscar Minunantul Meukatel. So transitioning from music to literature, what inspired you to write this, and how did it feel to receive the Little Trophy Award for this children's book?
That's wonderful. I've been blessed in my life with people liking my work. And I wrote this book without thinking that I'm a writer. I wrote it for my dog. I had a dog, Oscar, which was the funniest dog ever, of course, before Supai. And he did so many things in our lives, funny things. Like, for example, we would go walking. He didn't need a leash. He would walk like side by side. And I saw that he's stopping, and I didn't understand why. He was looking in the mirror. So each time he passed through a store that had like big windows and he could see himself, he would stop and look at himself. I'm like, wow.
He sounds like a character.
Yeah, so I wrote about him, and the kids received it so well. And I think the best trophy that I'm the most proud of, it was that trophy received from the kids, like the little trophy in 2006.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love children. I love pets. I love animals, and I'm really an advocate for protecting children and protecting animals.
Oh, we appreciate you so very much. You are very much aligned with my ethos of children and animals. They are the weakest in society. Sometimes they don't even have a voice, so it takes a lot to hurt them. And so I'm a big advocate, just like yourself. Now let's talk about, we have about 2 minutes left. Let's talk about your future plans and what can fans expect from the great AnaMaria Ferentz in the coming year in terms of music and other projects?
Oh, I have an album coming this year. This is my plan. This is my resolution, to have this album out and to have a success, because I wrote it from my heart for your hearts out there. It's with love, and it's about love, but fun. In general, I write fun music, music that you can dance on, that you can feel good. It's also sentimental, but more very upbeat and very positive, because in this world full of craziness today, we need some positive to come towards us, right? So that's my message. No matter what's in your heart in that moment or your mind, just find something to be positive about.
Oh, and that wraps the interview. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I wanted to sing for you.
You are going to sing for me. Hold on. That's how we're going to close it. Don't worry about it. We got you. But I wanted to say thank you for coming on and really being transparent and beautiful and just answering all the questions and being fun and entertaining. You're awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. You're wonderful, and I wish you all the best. I don't know if you spend this Christmas, or that Christmas, or how many Christmas we spend Christmas each time it is, for every tradition. But I wish you all happy holidays, no matter what type of holidays you have.
Yes, that's very important. Okay, take it away. What are you going to tease us with?
Oh, nakseri sagapo. This was in Greek, and this was Egyptian.
Keep going.
This is French. Spanish. I need to remember something that I sing in Spanish. My song. I have some song in Spanish. Pero soy chica latina, yeah, yeah. By the way, I'm chica latina because Romanian is a Latin country. For who doesn't know, yeah.
I love it. You are so entertaining. You are a hoot. Well, that rings in 2024 with the amazing AnaMaria Ferentz. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It was such a pleasure having you in studio.
Thank you so much. And please listen to my music.
We
it's
sure
great.
Will. We absolutely will. Happy 2024, my dear friends. Definitely check her out. You can check her out directly on the gram at AnaMaria Ferentz _. You could head directly to her website at AnaMariaFerentz.com. You could check her out even on YouTube at AnaMaria Ferentz. And remember, no matter what you do, make sure you check out that single. Christmas time just passed, but you can always make it everlasting and evergreen and feel like there's never a moment where you'll be left alone when you're listening to that song. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. This segment was brought to you by Imaginative Media. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
Talk to me about why you love Once Upon a Coconut, and can you share an instance in your career where it helped with your recovery and training routine?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the founder, John Chiarando, has been a good friend of ours for a very long time, and been lucky enough to tag in on a bunch of his various community service initiatives. Yes. And we became buddies before I even knew a thing about him, who he was, the companies that he's owned. But when he created Once Upon a Coconut, I was like, all right, our friendship ends here. Now we're business partners. I'm not giving you an option. I'm coming aboard the team. And yeah, it's just the cleanest, best tasting coconut water on the market. I mean, I challenge anybody to try it and find something that's better.
Why is social impact, social activism, and giving back so important to you?
I think it's why we're here. We're here to impact not just ourselves, but the people around us and the people that we're connected to. And giving back and being of service is something that is so fulfilling in this world. And I think getting to take yourself outside of your own life, outside of your own head, and into service and work can truly be something that impacts not just the people that you're helping to serve, but even your own life.
So can you share with us an instance in your training routine or in your career as a professional wrestler? My goodness, you're a professional wrestler and a singer. that hydration, played a key part in your recovery?
Oh yeah, hydration is key, baby. We train pretty hard, so we go through a lot of water. And I tell you what, having one of the coconut waters handy straight afterwards is boom, immediate electrolyte replenishment. It's amazing. It's literally the perfect thing. So I actually stack them up in my bag whenever I go to the ring now, and it's like a ritual. So after the ring, Once Upon a Coconut, it's in the books.
Oh, it's in the book. What makes you love giving back? Why do you love charity work?
Well, I love giving back because it's good for the community and I care so much.
You are the sweetest. I love the way you care, not just about your community, but about others giving back. So Once Upon a Coconut is really, really good premium tasting coconut water. And I know that they've sent you some coconut water to try. You may or may not have tried it, but you are an athlete and a really famous athlete. You always love to hydrate. Why is hydration important to you?
Well, my mom said, or I said, it's good for your skin complexion, and it's really important to hydrate.
Skin is extremely important. Electrolyte replacement,
yes,
right? Potassium, magnesium, those are all important. And I know you're an athlete. Tell me about some of the accomplishments you have had as an athlete.
Well, I accomplished so many because I accomplished the acting experiences.
Acting? Big actress right here. What about athlete? How many gold medals have you won?
Well, a lot.
A lot? Oh my goodness. I'm in the presence of greatness.
A Moment of Zen is sponsored by Body Align. Are you ready for a long winter's nap? Over 183 million adults have trouble sleeping at least once a week. That's why Body Align designed a wearable patch that helps you fall asleep faster, wake up feeling refreshed, and comes with a money-back guarantee. Try the Sweet Dreams patch today and get a buy one, get one free pack with the promo code DYP. Visit bodyalign.com and enter DYP at checkout because discovering your potential starts with a great night's sleep. That's bodyalign.com.
Welcome back to this week's Discover Your Potential Express segment, sponsored by Body Align on A Moment of Zen, right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. I'm Anna DeVere, co-host of Discover Your Potential, and today we'll be chatting about motivation. The ink may be dry on your New Year's resolution list, and some of you are already rolling your eyes at how ambitious you felt with a little champagne buzz. Already throwing in the towel, my friends? Maybe it's because no one told you that goal setting is supposed to be a little bit scary. See, studies show that if you're going for a goal you've already achieved, you're not reaching the part of the brain that needs to be activated. It's called having a big enough why. And creating a new habit takes effort and discipline to change your subconscious brain. So you're going to need to charge up the most important muscle in your body, and that would be your heart. When your head and your heart are best friends, it means they support those dreams. It makes you unstoppable. And getting in touch with that part of yourself is why Discover Your Potential exists. See, it wasn't that long ago that I was stuck in survival mode. I found myself hosting a show with big bragging rights, celebrity guests who were living their dreams, and imposter syndrome came in hard. And then one phone call changed everything when someone in my inner circle threw down the challenge and said, Anna, you're too old to chase dreams. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could shock me into reality faster because I'm a person who's made a career out of creative visualization. And frankly, age has never been a factor. If that part of you is holding you back, congratulations, you're in the right place. Because our series, Game Changers at Any Age, will inspire you. In the meantime, here's some food for thought. Vera Wang failed at Olympic figure skating before trying her hand at dressmaking at age 40. Catherine Bigelow didn't make an international success in filmmaking until she directed The Hurt Locker at age 57. And Grandma Moses didn't even start painting until she was 76. The point is this: there is no shelf life on chasing dreams. In fact, the amount of caring what other people think drops off dramatically after age 50. So pull out your bucket list for real and start with the things you've never done before, the ones that drive you past the fear and the negative self-talk. For me, that means ballroom dancing. Yeah, you heard that right. Competitive ballroom dancing. It's something about the costumes that revs up my creative spirit. Dancing with the Stars, here I come. And in the meantime, I've discovered something called Body Align patches that supports an active lifestyle. Body Align has a patch for everything from better sleep to fast pain relief and even body performance enhancement for building lean muscle mass. They really do help. So join me in designing your own New Year, New You. And stay tuned for the upcoming extended episode with Body Align at www.discoveryourpotentialshow.com. If you feel like joining me for a physical challenge of your own, visit bodyalign.com and enter promo code DYP at checkout for a buy one, get one free discount. From iHeart to your heart, this Express segment was sponsored by Body Align. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Are you looking to build a new home? Think about building a barn-dominium. There's just something about getting away from it all. Country living, fresh air, and outdoor entertainment. Watch luxury barn-dominium tours on Your Home TV and let Stacy Lynn, the barn-dominium lady, take you on a journey through her barn-dominium designs.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/a moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m., and all episodes of A Moment of Zen stream 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV streaming platform. That's free programming to you. You could head to mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to us. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. Happy New Year.